Hey guys, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm switching, and foremost of all of it, it's all about what I saw the other day. This guy over here at UP was doing some switching, and I haven't seen this kind of switching since I worked for the railroad, and I was trained by an old school switcher, and he was by far the best I've ever seen. And when I saw this guy doing some switching, I was like, yeah, he's old school. So let me demonstrate what I'm talking about when I'm referring to old school switching. So here we go. First thing first. Number one thing about switching is you use the space that is given to you. In other words, what I'm talking about is this. Now, I pulled these cars up here. I could have done the switch down there, but since I'm going to be going in here with these three cars, and I'm going to build my setup here, because all I have to do is set up the cars here. So, first thing first, let me stop this and explain. You have two cars, two hoppers on the first track. You have a hopper and a tank car on the second track. I have to set up this train so when I go in, all I have to do is spot and drop. But first, I have to pick up the old cars and bring them, pick up the old cars, and then do that. But I'll get to that next. But old school switching is this here. We'll load this down. You use the space that's given to you. That was the first thing I learned when I started switching. It was like, I want you to use the space that's given to you. Don't worry about dragging everything out to the main. If you have to drag it out to the main, use all the space on the main. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the space that's given to me. I'm going to set that up. Alright, and this is the real simple setup for right now. So, we're going to take this car. So, our switch list asks for this car be on this end on track 2 with the tank car on top. And then the two hoppers goes anyway, but they're going to be on track 1. So, alright, we're going to line the switch. PLG. I got this set for 3 miles per hour. This is going to be my switching speed for right now. I normally do it at 5, but this is going to be 3. And I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to back this up a little bit so y'all can see what I'm talking about. When you switch out cars, no matter where you do it, you always want to have enough room to where you can cut the cars and then block them up. In other words, what I'm saying is this. If you have to do a lot of switching, limit your walking. They call limit your walking. In other words, when I unhook this car, the guy's on this end, he's already lining the switch for me. I'm just going to walk over here and then do the car count and then shove the cars down and then make the join. If it's just one guy that's doing it, he's going to do whatever he can to limit himself from walking around. So he'll ride the cars up, line the switch, ride the cars down. And then couple the cars. Do whatever he needs. Air the hose, put the old hoses, really open the air, and do all that stuff. Then the next thing he's going to do, he's going to back up. He'll get off the train, line the switch, get back on the train, and then ride it down. He's going to limit his as much walking he has to do. We do the car count while he's riding it down. You make the join. You do whatever he needs to cut, red zone it. He'll drag out. That is a small example of limit space switching. You don't want to do a lot of walking and moving around when you switch the cars in and out. So, this is where it gets interesting. Now, I got my setup for track 1 and 2. So, I don't have to worry about doing 1 and 2 right now. All the cars got air on them, so I have my brakes for my air. I have my air. I prioritize this brake down on this first car just a little bit so I have some braking action. So, I'm going to stop right there. Now, we have to do the hoppers, which is track 4. We got to do the box cars, that's track 3. As you can see, grab the phone. As you can see, I am loaded with box cars and I'm loaded with a hopper. Well, I don't have any hoppers, but we're only going to switch out one hopper and we're going to switch out one box car. Alright, so same thing as usual. As I told you earlier, we're going to use the space that's given to us, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So let me move the camera down here so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Set it in this holder. I'm going to move this building out of the way so you can actually see too. And at the same time, while I'm doing this, I'm going to be building the train for the outbound. So, watch and learn. Now, this is called old school switching. Alright. Now, I'm going to go to track 3 and pick up that one car since I have a short drag out. And then I'm going to go to track 4 because it has a long drag out. You always go to the shortest drag out first so you can limit your time. Alright? Or, if you have the long drag out, you probably want to get your long drag out first and get it eliminated so you don't have to worry about it anymore. It's either or. As long as you use the space that's given to you to do the switch. So, we're gonna go in. We're gonna go on and get track 3. Alright? All the switches are lined, so let's go. Now, this is what I call old school switching. Because he's not going to take all these cars back up to the main and just switch out that car for that one car. No, he's not going to do that. This is how you do old school switching. Now, And what I'm going to do, I'm going to do everything at one time. Everything is going to happen at one time. So watching what I do. Since everything is already a drag out, I'm going to set up the train. Now, this car here, even though we have the car set for the spot and drop to go here, 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 and here. Alright? Even though we already got the cars here. The way the train is set up for the run out for the train is the hopper is first, boxcar second, this is third, and this is fourth. So, the way we're gonna do that is pretty simple. One, two, three, four. So, since this train here I'm pulling first, I want to set this for number 2. Now always remember, use the space that's given to you. I still have enough space to the backstop to spot that car right there. Alright? I can't. It has a roll down there. So it's it's oh, wrong way. Like I said, always use the space that's given to you. And we already got half of the train already put together. Then we're going to set the other 2 box cars in and spot and drop those. I'm coupling this car, so all I have to do is shove it in and then come out. PLG. Now, little spot there. I gotta figure out what's going on there. Alright. Now, as you can see, I have all the train that's outbound sitting there. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna move this camera back. Yep. So you see what I'm about to do. This is old school switching. Now, a train drops are here. A train, outbound train is up there. I can do this two ways. I can set all the trains to the main and be done with it, or I can just go ahead and do this last move, set that car on top and then shove it back in and then go out with the train to the main and then come in and spot the last two. I'm going to do option B. Watch what I do. Now, I hope I have enough space to clear that. We shall see. If not, I'm going to do this the other way. I haven't checked that. I haven't done this before on this. I cleared it. the switch too soon, too early. We're gonna work because I had that switch on that magnet. So now I have the train done. This is what I'm gonna do. Alright. Now I have the train done. The train is completely done. Shouldn't went in too fast and had a mess. And there you go. The train is done. Now, always remember, use the track space that is given to you, so you don't have to drag in and out everything. Sometimes that can be a boredom, and it gets bored every time you have to do a long drag out, and it gets very frustrating because you have to sit there, you gotta wait for all the cars to go in and out. So best thing to do is go old school. Use the space that's given to you. Trust me, it'll work. It'll come out a whole lot easier for you. Now, got the train. Now we're gonna go in and do the final spot and drop. Train is set up. We got 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're gonna uncouple, which I already done. And then we're gonna go back in and we're gonna spot the last 4 cars, which will be no problem. Set up the uncouple. So all I have to do now, well, I made that last move. He probably already adjusted the air hoses on all the train. So all we have to do is head out, put the light on the back on the end, and we're ready to go. BLG. And that's it. Train is done. And first thing it's gonna go to is the yard. So that's pretty much what I was referring to as old school switching. You use all the space that's given to you, always, no matter what. No matter what the situation is, you always want to use the space. If you got enough space to put a car to do a switch, instead of taking them all the way out to the main, do that switch there. It'll save you a lot of time. So it's time for me to go to bed because I got to be at work in the morning. Hope everybody enjoyed this. Comments and suggestions are welcome. Until then, see y'all later.